And the best time to build the network is when you don't need anything. People can tell if you're desperate. There are a lot of misconceptions that happens when you are trying to network with people. The first misconception is that you only network when you are job hunting, which is not true. You should be networking right now. In fact, all the people that are today, you should go to the page and add people on LinkedIn and help each other in this process. That is 12 people here right now that you can connect. And 12 people talk to 2 people, that's 24. And then that doubles to, 48. And then you can slowly grow your network. Networking is not just for job hunting. Networking is consistent, is what you always do. So you should never network just because you need a job. You should network because it's just what you do. And you always connect with people. And the best time to build the network is when you don't need anything. People can tell if you're desperate. When I just went to the US and I started to add people frantically to hustle for a product management job, no one accepted my invite because people can feel it. People know that, hey, this guy's just adding me for a job because he just relocated from Australia to the US. They don't accept my invite. But what's really interesting is that after a while, after I have all these failures, I stop becoming in job hunting mode and I start adding value. I start creating content. I start talking at meetups. I start having conferences. I start helping out, tagging things. And then when I add people on a network, they're like, oh yeah, this guy, it's not like looking for a job. He probably just want to connect. And then when I add them, I say, hey, look, I read your content. It's great. I really love what you do. Love to connect. That is it. Or come to a webinar. I say, hey, welcome. Great meeting you at Dave's webinar. Let's connect. The best time for you to do it is when you don't need anything because planting the seeds is so important. So don't do it when you do need a job. Also helps with all this stuff, which I won't repeat on. And networking is really about building the professional community, and don't ever confuse your personal networks with your LinkedIn networks. Even though sometimes it might overlap, but for LinkedIn, use that for work stuff. Don't ever treat LinkedIn as your Facebook or Instagram because it's not. So keep it separate. The second misconception, because of this awkwardness and the fact that we don't want to feel rejected, comes from this thing about you have to be an extrovert for networking. It's not really true because when you're networking, you're not talking to many people. It's not like you presenting in front of an audience. When you're networking people, it's a one-on-one conversation, right? You're commenting on someone's post, you're adding to someone's blog, you're emailing someone, you're sending someone an SMS, you're having a conversation with someone. This is a one-on-one interaction. So you can be as personal as you can. And in fact, it's about quality over quantity. As you go through your networking, you're not going to be friends with everybody. There are some people that actually don't like my personality at all. And that's cool. And I can tell from the first few conversations that we're not going to be a good match. And that is perfectly fine because you can realistically keep track about 60 conversations at one time throughout your life, pretty much. So they come and go, but on average, about 60 conversations, right? So you can only do so much anyway. So you want to focus on the quality conversations. So if you don't feel the same vibe with that person and if it's not feeling right, and even if that person is like a CPO of some company, that's okay. Because if you go off and impress him or her, and you do get a job through him and her, your interaction will be awkward anyway. And you might get fired or you might leave the company. It's just going to be bad down the track. So sometimes it's better for you to step away and really think about, hey, what are some quality conversations and quality contacts I want to have? And just keep conversation with those people because those people will lead you to more people like them. And that's how you find a company that suits you. So it's about quality, quantity, and you don't have to be an extrovert to do that. One meaningful conversation, one introduction is more powerful than 20 service level chat. I can guarantee you that. And that every opportunity I have received and I have gotten through different conversations is through one meaningful conversation. That is it. It's not through 20 other ones. So third thing, misconception number 3 is networking is just for asking for favors. It's like, I only want to network with people when I want to ask for favors or I don't have anything to give. It's not exactly true. the truth here is that networking is best when you're focused on giving before asking. Imagine this. It's much easier if you say, hey, Dave, I know you really like this book. What's a good book on my desktop? This book. Hey, Dave, I saw you made a post the other day, and I know you really like this book, 48 Laws of Power. I found a blog about this, so you can summarize it for you. You don't have to read it. Or I found a review, a blog about this book. There's a point that's really interesting. I thought you might be interested. Adding you on LinkedIn so I can share this book or this PDF with you. What do you think? Dave is going to accept your invite, right? So networking is best if you actually stop asking for stuff like, hey, Dave, I need some advice on product management. Don't say that. Or you say, hey, Dave, I have found this AI tool that can probably help you write your content better. Do you want to connect? And then get the AI tool. I'd be like, great, awesome. Tell me about you. What do you do? And that's when you can start talking about yourself and networking with others. So networking best is when you are following the person, figure out what they want, giving it to them. Then that is the best way introduction. And I've learned this the hard way. I've sent like hundreds of cold leads, cold emails, no heard back. And the only time when I really hear something back is when I shared something that the person really wants. And I'll show you an example after I go through this slide. So if the message is cold request or job referral, it usually gets ignored. That's what happens. Instead, share a helpful article. Ask for advice. Ask for questions that interests their areas of work. 3 mindsets that I really want to share with us. The first mindset is networking is not just all about asking for stuff. When people refer you, they are putting their reputation on the line for you. So you must lead with value first. And the number 1 rule and mindset that I always preach is give, get. Always give more than you get. Always. It's really about shifting this mindset of becoming a taker to a giver. Here is something I thought that might help you, and do that constantly. And this is why I share a lot of stuff on content or on LinkedIn. This is why I run these classes, because it's really just give, get. And also you should, whenever that you're commenting someone's LinkedIn post, just say, hey, great. So you see a product manager comment, put up a post, just comment on it and say, great, your recent post has really helped me think differently about this topic. Thank you for sharing it. All these things does add up, and it's about providing value before you get it. That's the first mindset, about giving more than you get. And when we think about networking, it's also, you got to think about like you're planting lots of seeds. So it's not just a connection on LinkedIn. It's actually seeds. And you don't expect instant results at all, because instant results are very rare. They're like the rarity that actually come up. What you should expect is actually a lot of outreaches, a lot of rejections, and a lot of basically planting a seed. For example, because in the opportunities, they grow from 6 months to even 6 years. From my experience, I've never had a good connection that was instant over a week. It always grew from 3 months just 3 months connection, 6 months, and even years and years. And that's why you got to think about long-term. Don't expect instant results. I'll give you a good example. So when I joined Seattle, I did a bunch of invitations. I've added basically every single product manager. Oh, something went wrong. Let's see. This will let me load. Well, this is not going to let me know, but I've added like every single person in Seattle about getting a job. And this is what you have to do. You have to go LinkedIn, go add people, go connect with people, and you got to plant those seeds early on. And you have to stay in touch with people. You have to keep updates to people. So message people once in a while. You have to cheer their wins. You have to celebrate the success, build trust over time, and not just chasing for opportunities. And it's really just, the goal is not to make 500 connections or 1,000 connections. The goal is generally build a relationship with people that you care about. And what I find is that a small network of people that you engage with gives you way more opportunities and leads than not the large network. So when I was job searching, I had a job search group of, this is my group, I think it's 5 people. Where's the JSC stuff? think my group was like 6 people. So I had 6 people in my group that I was just working with to find job opportunities. And that helped. That is all you need, just 6 people. So yeah, you don't need 500 connections. You just need a small amount of people. And these small amount of people that you engage with, that you talk with, that their reach would help you amplify it. And the last thing is, don't chase contact list and invest into the relationship. It's about following with people and helping them out through give, get. Trust is really built through small over time, small gestures, small help, and small things over time. And the last thing is, you have to be a producer and you cannot be a consumer. You can't be someone who's just consuming content and just like commenting on LinkedIn. Like no one wants to network with people like that, because when they are referring you to a job, they're putting their reputation on the line for you. And if you're not a good product person, or if you don't have a good product mindset, then it makes it very hard for them to recommend you because they don't know who you are. And then they're like, do I trust this person? So you really have to really have to be a producer. You have to picture yourself. You have to put yourself in a position that you have built something, whether it's a side project that you've built, a blog that you built, or a course that you've built, or even like a Shopify store that you built to sell something. Like these things are you producing a product, producing something in the market. And when people do recommend you, they know, they've seen, oh, Dave has built a Product Academy course, or like Jess has built a Shopify store that sells skincare products, right? So these are the things that you want to demonstrate and build. And by building stuff, that's what builds your brand. And you don't have to make $1 million or whatever that is. Like no one knows the revenue line, but the fact that you've actually produced something and built something, that is the most important thing. Because why? It's because people are looking for stuff that they can talk to others about. If we go back to this message that I sent to Albert, I clearly mentioned that I've built product. Like, hey, look, I'm a customer Kajabi. I've created this online course. It's make 100K over the long run. This is such a good hook and such a good differentiator for you as a brand. You don't have to mention this, but having something really helps. So you got to be a producer, and it also helps with the conversation style. So if you don't have that yet, that's fine. That's not a problem because like you didn't attend this course yet, so you wouldn't have known these things. That's okay. But from now on, you should start thinking about this. You should think about, hey, what can I start creating as a product? What do I need to create so I can build my brand and start planting the seed in the future? So when I do talk to other people, I have something to talk about. The second thing is some side projects and businesses that you might have. Could be a blog, could be a podcast, could be a course that you create, something like that. Also talk about real problems that you solve. You can talk about working for a small business and you're helping them with marketing, helping them with business advice, optimization, and then any unique experiences that you had in your working career. So that's also going to be helpful too. Yeah. So as you think about, before you even approach a networking conversation, these are the mindset that you got to think about. First off, you have to give get. Second thing, you've got to think about planting seeds and not connections. And the third thing is about becoming a producer of things and do that on a constant basis so you can use it in your conversations and not a consumer of information. And if you're stuck, there's a slide out in here. Feel free to take a screenshot of this. These are just different ideas that you can use to produce stuff. So grab this. I think online content is very good. Experiments are very good. Some entrepreneurial ideas around SaaS product is very good. Cool. And then also it's like challenging. It's about unique experience over here. This is what we can talk about. And as you are networking, there is the biggest thing that pulls people away from networking is actually this. It's super awkward, right? So let me bring up this slide, right? So starting a networking conversation is like super awkward. For example, like when I send an invite to people, they don't accept the invite and I feel very rejected, right? And I feel like, oh, I put all this hard work and they don't reply to my email, they don't reply to my DMs. But that's reality. People actually are not, they're not rejecting you. They just don't have the time to focus on you right now. So don't take that personally because networking is really just, everyone does it. It's so normal. And they're not saying no to you forever. They're just saying no to you right now. And what you should really focus on is not really focus on whether if someone have accepted your invite or not. It's whether if you're making progress to the connection that you want to connect. So the more people you connect, the closer you are to that connection. So focus on that goal, not the rejection itself. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to share with you how do you actually network inside a company externally and internally as well, because there's two ways for you to network. When you network, so internal, I know most of us probably work inside a company already. So internal networking is super helpful. It's actually probably the easiest way for you to become a product manager through internal promotions, internal movements. But if you don't have any product managers in your company, so there's no way to network your way into that. So you got to network externally to get a job. So these are the two methods to do that. And why is it important? Is networking just skips all the processes straight to the hiring manager. So that's how it works. So I'm going to share with you, how do you network externally? Externally networking is really LinkedIn nowadays. LinkedIn is like the Tinder, but for like job hunters. So think of it like that. You got to have a really nice profile. You got to have a nice attractive face. You got to have nice background, nice images. It's like that, but for job hunting. And you start the conversation on LinkedIn, and then you take people out for a coffee, right? And you go out for a meetup, and you're like, hey, what do you think? It's exactly like that. So why LinkedIn? LinkedIn is perfect for product management jobs because there's everyone on product management is a white collar worker, and there's 1.2 billion people, high engagement. It's a very great place for professional work. If you're a accountant, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, don't go on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is very good for white collar. So here are 5 hacks I have for you, 4 hacks that you can use to network with. The first thing that you do whenever you're interacting with anyone on LinkedIn, you should really look for a shared past. So what that means is when you're searching for someone, search by school. When I landed in Seattle, I added every single person that went to University of Sydney, University of New South Wales, University of Western Sydney, anywhere that's around Australia. I added all these people that went to an Australian university. So what you can do is go to LinkedIn, search for product manager. Actually, I'll show you now. It's in people, go to see results. And in here, you can filter by looking for anyone that is in, say, Seattle, like where I am, and also went to a school. Say, hey, maybe you went to University of Sydney, wrote to the Aussies, show result. And bam, you can see all the product managers that went to University of Sydney. I'm definitely adding these people because you can see I can message them, and I can message this person as well. Yeah, like just do that. And then automatically you can find a very common connection and say, hey, we went to X university together. Love to connect. By hometown and country, this is what I do. Location, where the hometown is. And you can search by certificates and boot camps as well. So you can say, we both went to this AI course. Love to connect after that. And the message that I recommend, I'm putting as a template because coming out with message is hard. So you can just say something like, hey, this person, so that you went to this school and you ended up in product. I'm doing a blog post on feature a few past students in the school. Are you interested to be featured, or blogcast or something like that? You don't have to do a blog post. You can say, I'm doing some interviews with a few past people to learn how they broke into product, so I can share it with the community. So you can do that as well. This is a good way to get that connection. So share past, that's a very good hack. And it's helped me so much to connect with all the PMs in Seattle when I started. The second one would be like comment to DM strategy. You probably see this on Instagram. Like says, hey, comment whatever, I send you a DM. This is the inverse of that. This is when you comment. This is when someone comment on your stuff, and then you DM them. So what you should do is find 5 to 10 product managers who post occasionally. And then what you do is you grab their content, and you can read it, understand it, digest it, and put your own spin to it and say, hey, I read this blog post from Dave, or read this blog post from this person, or read this content from this person. Get them. I found this really useful, and I want to share it with my network. And when you tag that person, they will get a notification, and they'll be like, oh, someone tagged me in the post. They will click onto that post. They see that it's you. and then they probably like it or they don't. Either way, wait a few days and then just add them and say, hey, really love your post. I shared it with my network. Do you want to chat more, or I'd love to learn more from you? So that's what you do. Another hack you can do is you can leave very thoughtful comments on people's posts as well. So you can leave and then create posts and tag the person. So this is a very good way for you to like comment to someone's post, or grab the post, summarize it, share it with your network, and add them afterwards. And another hack, the last hack that I can share with you, is find people who's done it before and also ask for advice. So on LinkedIn, what you can do is you can find product managers that have a past title. So for example, this one will be like product manager, business analyst. So you can find a business analyst that's also a product manager at some company. And then you can say, hey, look, for example, business analyst, Amazon product manager. So you can say, search for product manager, designer, business analyst. Come back to your title. So if you're a BA, find PM BA. If you're a designer, find PM designer, and so on. And say, hey, I love your take on what has helped you to switch from your current role to a PM role. Yeah, how do you do it? Because people really want to help people that's on the same job title as you. Just imagine someone coming to you now and say, hey, that I really want to be a business analyst, but I was some other role before. Can you help me get into it? People love to give advice and tips. So yeah, and then you can follow up and say, hey, great. What would it take me to get a referral into this company if a relevant role comes up? So you can talk about what would it take, because that's really listing out the criteria, and it keeps the conversation open and it's more advisory rather than asking for a role. And that's basically it. And if people says, oh yeah, this is what it takes, and it doesn't meet your bar, then that's them saying, oh, they're not ready just yet. And that's okay. That is perfectly fine. And just move on to quality conversations. Quality. So these are the 3 tips. And the last thing you should do is update your Tinder profile. So your LinkedIn profile is what gets found all the time. So first thing you got to do is you got to have a really nice background. So I'll put Seattle in there because when I was looking for a job, put in Seattle. Second thing is, and don't put anything else like a coffee or whatever, right? That's just not relevant. The second thing you should do is put your title in here. So product, what industry you want to focus on. So creator economy, marketplaces, fintech. That's what I like to focus on. Also X whatever company that you want to do. This is basically your tagline. A lot of people put the tagline, which is, I like to help people do this. That's not really relevant for job searches. That's very relevant for like consultants that help companies do certain things. But for job searches, chances are recruiters will look into your profile and they don't care about what you can help them with. They just care about, hey, I'm looking for a creator economy product manager who has years of experience. Does that make sense for me? That's all they care about. So put them here. And then this thing is, the first relevant title is extremely important, because that's what people see all the time. They don't care about the rest. They only care about the most recent title. So the most recent title needs to tie back up into one of these companies that you want to focus on, whether it's creator economy, marketplaces, or fintech. If it's completely irrelevant, then there's a disconnection and people will be like, it doesn't make sense. You say you like creator economy, but you work in shopping centers, which is center group. So that doesn't make sense. So add that into here. And then you can have your supporting roles later down the track. So you can add everything else. What I do recommend is, there's no best practices of how you can write your LinkedIn, but what I do recommend is don't add emojis. Never add emojis into your LinkedIn. It's just a terrible thing to do. So don't add emojis, but this is the format that I do. So you don't have to use my format. You can test what works for you. I usually talk about the reporting line because that sort of signals how senior you are. So like reporting to the CPO, what did I do? Led a team of amazing product managers that did this, right? And also reporting the CTO, reporting the head of product, and so on. And they'll talk about the company. For example, reporting CTO, Society One, Australia's P2P lending platform, did this. Why? It's because you can see more, right? People only see these top few lines. So the first few lines, you want to indicate how senior you are, who you reported into, what your company is about, if it's not a popular company, and what have you achieved, what have you done. So In this first line, you can clearly see CPO, led a team of amazing product managers, responsible for creator commerce, core product services at Linktree. These product includes, let's see more, expand. So yeah, so you got to think about the first relevant title, supporting title. If you're stuck, you can start with my format first and you can optimize it to see what suits you. Cool. So that's basically how you can hack around LinkedIn to get some invites. And once you do get some invites and have some DMs with people, DMs are great for like surface level conversations, exactly like how you would DM someone on Instagram or on Tinder or whatever. Eventually, you're going to convert them into go out for a coffee and say, hey, to meet up for coffee, for lunch. If he's not available, they're in different states, different cities, say, hey, do you want to jump on a Zoom call? Because I got a book that I recently bought. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. I'd love to share that with you. Or I've got this problem that I'm trying to solve. I can't do that. Do you want to jump on a Zoom together and help me solve it together? Whatever you need to do, take them off platform, have a one-on-one conversation with them, face-to-face, ideally. And then share books, resources, attend meetups, conferences with them. Say, hey, saw this conference, saw this meetup, notice you're around the Seattle area. Do you want to go together? And so on. And also you don't have to take people to conferences because it's like going on dates is awkward if you never met them in real life. You can also say, hey, there's a director of product doing this talk about AI. I'm going to attend. Here's a Zoom link. Do you want to come check it out? So that's just less things, less friction. And then afterwards, you can talk about, oh, what do you think about this AI talk? How do you think? And that's how you can start the conversation. And obviously, your side hustle is a very good way to help you start the conversation and say, hey, I'm building this side hustle. Your thoughts. And that's basically the fourth thing to convert. And even at a lighter level, you should at least be commenting on people's social media posts and celebrating their posts whenever they post. So that is basically the tips of external network. So internal networking, it's also an important thing. So there's 3 criteria for internal networking. First thing is you got to have a good reputation in your company. If you're not doing a job, if you don't do a good job, do that first. You can't network your way out of your current job because everyone else is doing it. So reputation is important. You got to deliver. You got to do what you do first. That's the ticket to play. Second part is you're going to build friends with the product team. And then third is look out for opportunities in the product team. Building a reputation means you got to be good at what you do. You got to be visible in a company. You got to do some volunteer work, cross-functional projects, all-hand presentation. Be visible and show up. The boss is also judged by how you perform as well. So if you're not performing, your boss probably won't recommend you to anyone. So that's important. And also, whether if you get into a product management role, it's based on the conversations that's behind your back. Even if you do get a potential role in a different department, the other new manager will talk to the current manager and say, hey, what do you think? And they'll have a lot of conversation behind your back. Trust me, because I've been in that side. I've had many conversations about people moving jobs and doing different transfers and so on, like all of this behind. So I would suggest to do that and absolutely show up, go to company events and so on. And that is how you can maintain a good reputation in your company. And the second thing is you want to be friends with the PM team. How you do that is you understand the different roles. So just look at the org chart of, hey, how did the product team work within that product team? And then you want to make an impression with the team by giving updates and sharing information with them. So ping them, ask them for help, ask them for advice, pass them any customer problems, any customer ideas. Use that as a way for you to get in. And then catch up with them and say, hey, look, I'm learning on how to become a product manager, to learn about this product mindset and apply this in my day-to-day job. Can you teach me this product mindset? I'm going to share some problems with you that I'm seeing on my job. I'd love to get your perspective on it because this product mindset is very unique. And chances are product managers will love to share that with you. One thing though, don't ever offer product ideas until they ask you for it. That's a big mistake a lot of people make. PMs have enough product ideas already. They don't need more from you. What you need to do is just learn the product mindset. That's very important. And then also leverage your strength. So if you don't give product ideas, what do you give instead? Your subject matter expertise in your area. So if you're a customer service person, then talk about all the tickets that's been happening. What are the common occurring problems? If you're an accountant, talk about the financial side of the company and help the product manager learn how the company works from a financial perspective, and so on. Share your expertise. And also do pro bono work for the product team. And so if the product team says, hey, I need someone to look through like this customer survey for me and pull out some key insights and understanding from there, great, do it. Do some pro bono work for them, help them triage tickets, help them get data. Because all of this work that they are not doing that pass on to you, it's the work that you would do as a product manager. So you might as well do it anyway. You can add that to your resume, right? So do pro bono work, add it to your resume. It's a win-win for everybody. Cool. And the last part is be patient, because eventually the role will come. Average employee, it's about 2.5 years. And product manager is about 2.5 years too. And I know this because this is how we plan for it in the company. Every 2.5 years, we actually touch base with HR and be like, hey, is this person a flight risk? And so on. Do we need to promote them? Do we need to give them more incentive? What's going on? We know, everyone knows this. It's about 2.5 years. So just look out like, hey, is this team new? Is about 2.5 years? Someone might leave. But stay in touch with the head of product, GMs, and so on. And then prepare a pitch for yourself. If you do see someone leave, just pitch yourself and say, hey, which role you're interested in and why you're interested in this role. Is it because you've been having conversation with this PM already, you've been helping that person out, you're really interested in digital mainstays, you have some expertise in this area, and also what you can bring to the table. And because you've been networking internally, you've been helping out, you've been getting your head out, you can state all the context that you've had around the product and how you can get up to speed much quicker than hiring someone else external that does not know about your business at all. That is your advantage, because you have the context. You can get up to speed extremely quickly, and you want to learn the product mindset as well. Cool. And then last thing is, instead of applying for that job straight away and be like, hey, I want to get this job, just say, hey, look, I'm looking for a coffee chat. And again, take it out for a date and see if you're a good fit. And ask this golden question: what would it take for someone like me to get this role? Just leave it as open. If the hiring manager is interested in you, they would be like, oh, you know what? You already have what it takes for you to try. If they don't, you know what? I need 7 years of product strategy experience and 18 MBAs. They will give you some hardball, which okay, great, awesome. Thank you very much. I will work towards that. Would you like to keep in touch and we can mentor me and we can just keep the conversation going in the future? So ask that question, what would it take? And not like, I want this job. Cool. So that's how you network internally within the team. And when you do have a conversation, come up with a transition plan and milestone dates. Help your current manager back through the role, because that's good reputation. And then don't just switch off from your current job.